Hiya. Today I'm making a video. It's part of the series My Journey into Blacksmithing. In the previous videos I showed you how I made my propane burner. It works. I got a bigger gas bottle. The 6 kilogram propane bottle is, I paid £20 to get it filled, and 6 kilos is going off very quick. So I went back and I got a 19 kilo propane bottle for £30. That sounds a lot better. Now, I used a gas tank which somebody found in the forest. I cut it in half. Just a second. I give you some measurements. The diameter is 38 centimeter or 15 inches, and the length is about 21 inches or 53 centimeter. I built this one so I can use it as a forge when it's in horizontal position like this, and I also wanted to be able to use it as a furnace to melt aluminium or brass. So in order to use it as a forge, I made a door on the back, so if there are bigger pieces to go into the fire, you can push it through or you can go deeper. I lined the forge with a ceramic fire blanket. .25mm or 1 inch thick ceramic fire blanket. You should really not handle it without a mask because it's very toxic. What I did, I cast the bottom first. I put it in an upright position. I put the blanket in, going on the wall up for about 2 inches. And before that, I just removed this. Yeah. I cut a hole in the bottle, and then I used the piece I cut off, and I made a tapered wooden block which I screwed on this shape. I left a hole. This is where the gas valve was. This is 15mm, so I could push a copper pipe in, and I screwed the piece of wood which is tapered on all sides. I put it in here and I've made it so it's firm. Then I had this in upright position. I put the ceramic fire blanket in, and I cast about 2 inches of refractory castable cement. And after the cement set, I got this one out, which was wrapped in cling film, so it won't stick, the wood won't stick to the cement. Then I filled this gap here because you could see the fire blanket here. I filled it all around with fire cement. You can get it at something like this. It's not the best thing to use. If I would have known, I would have used the fire cement, because this doesn't seem to set as firm as the castable cement is. What I did after that, I put this, it was in the upright position, I put this in without the wooden block, and I wrapped this with cling film all the way around. I put this in, and then I cast this piece of refractory cement. What I did, I screwed some screws in. They are about 1.5 inches. I can show you now. Just a second. These are self-tapping screws. Okay. And I screwed them in here, so it will hold the plate to the cement, because the cement will hold into those threads. So after I did this, of course I welded some nuts and bolts on here and made some tongues, so it will hold it in place when the forge is in upright position to use it as a furnace. Then I cut these holes here. I went to the scrapyard and I found some stainless steel pipe, and I cut the shape. I drilled 3 holes and I tapped them so I can screw the bolts in, which will hold the gas burner. The gas burner goes in like this, okay, and then the screws will hold the burner in center position. I drilled a hole in here and one on top. This one goes in an angle, the other one goes vertical. I'm not sure that's the right thing to put it vertical down, but this is the way I did it. Then I had made a tube which was the mold for casting the inside. So I drilled the holes for the mold. This is a bit damaged now, but it could be reused. Anyway, what I also did, I used those screws and I put a few in. I put in the bottom I put 4, so before I cast the bottom piece, so it will hold the cement firm, so it won't start moving or breaking off. And I also screwed this type of screws all the way around. Now I turned the thing over to show you how it looks inside here. So I had this put in here, and with the tube in there, I put the ceramic fire blanket 25mm or 1 inch all the way around here. Then I put the mold in, and then I cast the refractory cement. This is 2 inches thick, and then at the same time I cast this top piece. It is deeper than the edge of the cylinder because I ran out of material and I didn't really want to buy more. So this is basically the position to use it as a forge. the burner goes in here. It won't go in now because I put some insulation in because I didn't use it as a forge. So it will go in here, and then I put some fire bricks inside here because I thought I will later on, if I get some more fire cement, I will cast a brick which will have this shape and will be straight here, so you can put your steel you want to forge, you can put it on and work with it. Now, I have to admit, I have not used it very much as a forge. I was very much excited about using it as a furnace, and I'm quite happy how it works. I didn't want to spend money on doing something too small, and I ended up spending money on doing something that's too big. I think it's way too big as a forge, and it is quite big as a furnace. I used a metal tube to make a crucible, which I overdid, and it's way too heavy and way too big. I don't even show it to you because it's ridiculous. You can see it there in the corner. It's very thick steel tube, and I welded a bottom piece on, so make it like a can. It's no way to use that one. If you do casting all day and you put the crucible back into the fire and melt aluminium over and over again, it might work, because once the furnace gets hot and once the crucible gets hot, it probably works well. But I used something else. I got my wife's stainless steel can. I cut the handle off and I use it as a crucible. It works well. It had this double bottom here, and I didn't know that the filling in there is actually aluminium. So when I first melted things in it, I found aluminium in the bottom of my furnace, and I didn't know where it come from. So when I turned over this, I saw, and the bottom is coming off slowly. So this is my crucible. I won't spend 60 or 80 pounds on a graphite one, because for now I'm not doing so much casting. Here you can see the fire blanket, 1 inch thick, and then you can see the cement in there. Trying to focus, and you can also see those screws there and here, and they're all over, all the way around. Yeah. Now this is the forge in upright position. I will have to make a frame with wheels, and I want to make it so it can tilt, so I can put it in this position when I want to use it as a furnace, and to tilt it horizontal when I want to use it as a forge. But I'm quite happy to use it before I'm able to make a frame for it. It is heavy. I think it has about between 70 and 80 kilograms. That's quite heavy to handle. Here you can see the tube which holds the burner. This is for melting and this is for forging. when the bottle is in horizontal position. If you look inside, you can see one of the tubes comes vertical into the chamber, the other one comes in an angle, so when the fire burns it creates a turbulence here. When I do the melting, I put some fabric on the bottom, so my crucible, which is actually a pan, will sit on it, so the air can circulate underneath, and it will melt a lot quicker. I did some tests, and because the sun was not right, I couldn't cast, so I had to cast in a metal can, which was polyfiller stuff. I cast this one, and then I had some of those done. And some more here. This is the first time I'm doing it, so I didn't know exactly what to expect. Another thing I did was a plunger, so I can degas the molten aluminium. So I used one of those, they're called strainer and stopper set. I don't know if it's stainless steel or not, and I just used a threaded rod and I enlarged the hole in the middle and just put the threaded rod in with 2 nuts on both sides. So what I do is I just put this in and make sure the gassing stuff goes in and mixes with the molten aluminium. The stuff I use for degassing is soda crystals. I bought it for £1 in the pound shop. It says here sodium carbonate. And you basically get this powder, you put it in some alu foil, wrap it in, make like a small ball, and plunge it into the molten aluminium, and then you use the plunger to make sure it mixes with the aluminium. And then you can, I also use this plunger to remove all the dirt and the dross. It works pretty good, cheap, it does the job.